Well, it's tax season again. You probably have some questions. We have some answers. Today with Alma Scarborough, the tax it lady, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Alma Scarborough. Alma, is that time of year again?
It's already here, Bernie. It seemed like I just got up out of the seat.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back, and it's good to be in this new spot. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. And Kelly's with you?
Always.
Your daughter?
She's my sidekick.
I hear you.
She's my sidekick.
That's great.
Yeah.
Alma, so many things are going on. Tell us about some of the new things you want to tell us about.
Well, I think what I would like our community to know and our audience to know is that there are a multitude of scams out there. Okay. The robocalls, they just call and call. And some of those scams now, they have come into tax season and before tax season and all year long. Mm-hmm. And the latest one is the Social Security number scam. Okay. And that scam is about someone will call you and tell you if you don't pay your taxes right away, that they will cancel your Social Security number. Cancel it. And some, elderly people or people who just aren't aware of the laws and how the Internal Revenue Service operates may give them their Social Security number. Mm-hmm. And if you give somebody your Social Security number, you have given them the most important number that you could possibly give them, because they can use it from place to place to place.
It's just a license to steal.
It's a license to steal, and they are cleaning up. Nobody is exempt from this from the Social Security the Social Security scam,
right.
SSS.
Social Security scam.
Yeah, so nobody's exempt from it, but here's what I want your community, our community to know is that if someone calls and they say, the first thing they say is, I want immediate full payment with like a debit card or a money order or a wire transfer. The Internal Revenue Service does not operate like that. They don't operate where they call you on the phone like that. First, they're going to send you a letter and give you so much time to respond to the letter. They generally do not call until they establish exactly who you are, but that letter comes first. The letter comes first. They don't send out emails and say, now, fill this out and send it back to me. But oftentimes, many of us are going through the situation with the Social Security numbers. And it also happens, Bernie, if they owe taxes, then they're really frightened.
Right.
If it may be $300, $500. But even if they don't owe taxes, if they ask for the Social Security number, what happens is that they get that number and let the people know, the victim know, that they'll get their check next month. But once you give up that number, you've given up a lot of information. So I wanted our community to know that Internal Revenue Service they send you a letter first.
And never call.
Not until they establish.
Yeah,
you usually have to call them.
Right.
They don't call you too much. They send out letters and not emails, And if they tell you to pay with a debit card, or I have had some, I've known some situations where they tell the people that they'll meet them at the bank so that they don't have to get locked up.
Wow.
They even tell them that they'll call the police on them and come over to their house. And some are strong enough to go to your house and accept your card. So I'm saying, I'm warning everybody, don't give up your telephone number, the debit card, no personal information. And if they call you and you're in doubt, just hang up. Just hang up. It's safer to hang up than it is to try to explain and try to get out of it. Yeah.
Now you worked for the IRS for years, and you're an enrolled agent. Tell us what that means and how long you have this experience that you've had.
Well, I worked there. I always tell everybody I got my degree, a 33-year degree from Internal Revenue. I was there 33 years, and an enrolled agent, it is quite similar to a CPA, except that we're licensed to operate in 50 states and all of the U.S. Territories. An enrolled agent can go all the way up to tax court. Okay. And generally, you know, I've really been blessed because I, you know, worked there. I worked in Internal Revenue all those years, and I got some of the best information. I think that, you know, I it's not a brag. It's just a fact. It's a fact. Yeah, you know, I was there and I learned it, and I share it. And
as things progress, as things change, you keep up with the law. You and your staff at Scarborough Tax
Affair. Yeah. I have to get so many professional education credits every year, continued professional education. Then I'm licensed both by the Internal Revenue Service and several professional tax organizations that you can't get into unless you're licensed, and then keep up the education year after year, because we already know how the law changes so drastically.
It seems like it changes overnight, doesn't it?
It changes. And then when there's a new administration, it really changes. Right. So at least this year, the change was not as great as it was the year before. So we're doing a little bit better. So you get a little time to kind of even things out, but not very long. But you do have to go to school, and you do have to know your tax preparer. Right. You know, and know, you know, and
you must know the law. You must know the law, being an agent.
You must know it, because if you don't know it, they'll just...
Sure.
A lot of times, too, you know, if you're talking to the first contact at Internal Revenue Service, they may not know the law, maybe even the way you do. Wow. So you have to kind of go on up to the next level. And there's been such a terrific, so many people have retired or gotten laid off during the former, like the last 3 to 5 years, until they're having trouble filling those spaces with experienced people. Okay, so things are moving
even our IRS
slower.
Is kind of messed up internally.
They are, because they can't hire when they want to. Sure. And then it takes a while to train. So by the time, you know, but you've got this big gap here waiting for somebody to come out of school. You know what I mean?
So Scarborough Tax Affair is the place to come.
That's the place to go.
And how can we reach you?
You can reach me at area code 314-621-1402. And then my email address is taxhitlady@gmail.com.
Okay, you have a website also?
I have a website, www.taxhitlady.com. You can check my resume on there. One of the bigger things that I've been doing lately is this trust fund recovery penalty. I don't know that I've ever spoken to you about it, but I will. Okay.
Well, I have a minute left in this segment, so we would want to kind of go over that when we come back.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But Alma Scarborough is my guest, and she's a tax hit lady. She's an enrolled agent, 33 years of experience with the IRS, and now she's doing her own thing. And like she just said, you know, some of the people in the IRS, they're not up to scope, too. They don't know the laws. But you should go to Tax Hit Lady, to Alma Scarborough and her staff, and they'll walk you through what you need to go through the IRS. And she says, please be aware of these scams, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. In the meantime, we're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice and the staff are still trying to reopen 1411 Locust Street. But here's some of the things that is needed at New Life Evangelistic Center. You know, they need hats and gloves and scarves, warm coats, jackets, men and women and children. They need blankets, hygiene products such as shampoo, conditioners, soap, body wash, toothbrushes, toothpaste, mouthwash, and so forth. All these things are needed here for those in need at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road. You may help us through a tax-deductible donation through Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166, or online at here's one word, newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Discover Card. Takes them less than 2 minutes to make that investment, that life-saving investment in New Life Evangelistic Center. Back with Alma Scarborough after this.
In November 2018, the building commissioner gave New Life Evangelistic Center the go-ahead and repair 1411 Locust building. It meant that we were able to start our work. We did 90% of the demolition, put in all the different fireproof doors, and all different kinds of improvements were made. Then the developers sued the New Life Evangelistic Center and the city and stopped this from taking place. That's where we're at this time. Now we must take it to the voters. In order to do that, we need your help to help circulate petitions. So if you know people in the city of St. Louis, you know churches in the city of St. Louis, you got family members there, and they're registered voters, let's get their name on these petitions. The petition says that the city's going to be having to go back to what the building commissioner said and allow us to finish those repairs and not do what this Board of Building Appeals that don't have much knowledge of a building as a whole declared that we had to stop. Let's move it forward. Please call. Please get involved now. 421-3020 and get your petitions. 314-421-3020. Tell us how many of these petitions you'd like to have and how you help circulate them.
Hear this, you who trample the needy and do away with the poor of the land. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. You trample on the poor and force him to give you grain. Therefore, though you have built stone mansions, you will not live in them. Though you have planted lush vineyards, you will not drink their wine. For I know how many are your offenses and how great your sins. You oppress the righteous and take bribes, and you deprive the poor of justice in the courts. Seek good, not evil, that you may live. Then the Lord God Almighty will be with you, just as you say He is. Hate evil, love good.
Well, welcome back. My guest is Alma Scarborough. She's the tax hit lady. Why do they call you the tax hit lady?
Because I hit back.
Because you hit back.
I hit back, and I want to, we were just talking about the tax scams.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I want to let our community know and neighbors know and whoever is listening know that tax professionals are not exempt from these scams.
Wow.
They're not exempt because we are not exempt because we have a lot of information. So if someone could go online or somehow get some of our information, they hacked the Internal Revenue Service about 3 or 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So nobody is beyond being hacked. But as a tax professional, you have to store a lot of things in the cloud. You have to be very careful about where you put people's information because actually one of my clients actually lost his house because somebody else had gotten a mortgage on his house with his Social Security number. Wow. So then he comes back with a big bill. They start sending him, notices to pay the bill, but he didn't know his house was mortgaged.
Threatening letters, and he had no idea.
Now, this is the mortgage company now. Threatening letter. He didn't know his house was mortgaged.
Yeah, that's
so they went and had his picture, and because now most financial organizations, they not only ask for your Social Security number, they also ask for your picture. So they'll have a picture to go with the number. And so they had all that, and they got a mortgage on his house. And so that's that, yeah.
These scams work. I mean, the people who are conducting these scams sound professional themselves, do they not?
Oh, they are. They're really IT, you know.
Yeah.
They're really sharp, intelligent people. You're not dealing with anybody that is, you know, they're pretty smart. They're well educated, well honed, and they're quite computer savvy. I think too, Bernie, I would like to talk a little bit about the federal tax lien.
Sure.
And also the tax levy. But the tax lien is where the United States files a lien and they put it in the paper. They put your name and address in the paper and how much you owe into a legal newspaper. And oftentimes people think that the tax levy is more devastating, but it isn't. The tax levy does take your money out of the bank, or it may take your wages. But the federal tax lien is over all your property, both real and personal. And the Internal Revenue Service takes like your position. Every time you like make a house note and you get equity, then they get equity with that lien. So whatever you own, they own. And look, Bernie, sometimes because people don't see the lien, you know, necessarily, they don't know the effect of the lien. They're more concerned about the levy but I can go to the bank, or I could go to I can go to the United States and get them to release easily, not easily. It takes a little bit of work to get the levy off, but that lien is going to be there until the account is full paid. But oftentimes people don't realize that there are ways to get rid of a lien. You can get it discharged or subordinated or withdrawn. Okay. You can, but it is a bit of a...
It's a process, right?
It's a process. It's a process, but the lien, it covers all your property. Okay. And oftentimes people don't know that. So the suit you got... No, I'm just kidding.
Look, you see on television now these people who says, I owed $100,000 and this company got rid of my debt, and I owe... And another one says, I owed so much money. Tell me about it. They're nothing like Tax Scarborough, tax hit lady.
Well, you know what they're talking about is a collection tool. And and it's called the offering compromise. And it's a viable tool. But if they owed $100,000 and they got off with $10,000.
That's what they're saying on TV.
Yeah, late night TV.
Yeah. And that's a scam in itself.
That's a scam because I won't say all of them are scams. Let's just say for the sake of discussion that at one point you owed a big penalty, like a trust fund penalty, or you were making a lot of money and you had a big tax liability, but then you lost the job. Okay, so you still owe $100,000, $50,000. So what the Internal Revenue Service does is that they can initiate or accept an offering compromise. So what I do as a tax professional is submit it to them, saying that this client, yes, he owes $100,000, but he only got $5,000. And so what they start to do is what I call, it's a reverse audit.
Okay.
So they, if I want an offer and compromise passed or accepted, I've got to show line by line by line by line everything that not only that you currently own, the United States wants part of your future because the federal tax lien stays on record for 10 years.
Wow.
So if you can't offer them enough to let the $100,000 go or 50, whatever it is, well, they said, well, we'll just leave it on there. But generally, it doesn't go to people who are very young and have a bright future or some kind of future.
Because they figure they can pay it off in time.
At some time, you're going to want that lien off, or you want to buy a house.
Sure.
And you can't get it.
How can we reach you? We need to know.
Okay, yes. Okay. Should you want an offering compromise, I can be reached at area code 314-621-1402. The email is taxhitlady, I hit back, taxhitlady at gmail.com. And I'm at www.taxhitlady.com.
You're also on Facebook, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, Alma Scarborough.
Alma Scarborough and Scarborough's Tax Affair.
Scarborough Tax Affair.
Both ways, yes.
Okay. Well, you know, Alma Scarborough has been here many, many times, and last time she was here, she went away with a Bernie Hayes Show Cup. She made a donation to the New Life Evangelistic Center. She has her cup. She uses a mug all the time. And I want you to find out how you can get a mug. And so does Reverend Larry Rice. And here's Reverend Larry Rice to tell you how you can get a Bernie Hayes Show Cup, show a mug that is, and help the New Life Evangelistic Center.
The Bernie Hayes program is produced at NLEC TV right here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. It's our new headquarters since they closed the 1411 Locust building. We're working to get back into that building. In addition to that, trying to help so many people through a wide variety of safe houses, training programs, transportation assistance, so many ways people are getting help because of all of you that are supporting the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. Now, if you'll send a gift of $25 or more, we want to send you this special, the Bernie Hayes Show Cup. And we're giving that to people. It's just a way of saying thank you. So when you send your gift, request a cup. We'll be happy to get it off to you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org. Now I'm really asking all of you to join us in praying. The needs are so phenomenal at this particular time. So many hurting and homeless people are contacting us daily, but we're able to help them because of each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing at this time. Tell your families and friends about NLEC TV and get directly involved yourself.
We'll return, I guess, after this Black History moment. Diane Nash is our guest. She was born in Chicago in 1938. She was prominently involved in integrating lunch counters through sit-ins, the Freedom Riders, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Selma Right to Vote movement, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Southern Christian Leadership Conference. She was also a part of the committee that promoted the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Nash first attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. After transferring to Fisk in Nashville, Tennessee in 1959, she witnessed severe racial segregation, prompting her to participate in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and nonviolent protest. After moving to Jackson, Mississippi in 1961, Nash headed the SLC campaign to register people to vote and desegregate schools. She was also appointed to a national committee by President John F. Kennedy that promoted passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Diane Nash.
Now you can take NLEC TV anywhere as you put the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. NLEC TV is an innovative TV station that's on the cutting edge of community service. On NLEC TV, you'll discover wholesome family, community, renewable energy, and inspirational programming. Those needing energy assistance, food, clothing, or freedom from the cycle of homelessness will find that plus much more on NLEC TV. Now, you can receive NLEC TV by going to 24.2 on your television set or putting the NLEC TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. For further information, call 314-436-2424 or go to nlecstl.org. That's nlecstl.org.
And welcome back. My guest is Alma Scarborough, the tax hit lady from Scarborough Tax Affair. And Alma, being a renewal agent and have all this experience with the IRS, and now you're on your own, can people reach you again? How can they reach you?
Yes, please. You can reach me at area code 314-621-1402.
Okay.
The email address is taxhitlady@gmail.com. And my web address is www.taxhitlady.com.
And there's some things you want to say before we leave.
Yes, I do. Before, I want to let everyone know how a lien affects you. It affects your assets, just say your property, securities, vehicles.
Everything.
It's attached, okay.
Wow.
And one of the things that some people don't realize, it really is adverse on your credit report. It'll bring your credit report down because they will put in there that you have a lien. And then your business, it affects your business property, and it can throw you into bankruptcy.
Sure.
It can throw you into bankruptcy. So in order to avoid a lien, try to pay as much as you can up front.
The tax that you owe.
Yeah, the taxes you owe.
Okay.
Pay them up front, and also tell them to apply to the principal payment only. Because sometimes they apply to interest and penalty, and that doesn't help your balance. When
they say that, the IRS actually say, okay, we'll just apply this to the
assessment.
Yeah. Okay, but I tried that one time, and they says, well, we won't do that, but you can do that, and especially through you.
Yeah, you can do that. You can say, you want it applied to the principal only.
Only, principal only, yeah, right.
And then it'll make the interest and the penalty go down.
Yeah.
It's definitely best for you.
People should know that,
Yeah. Apply everything to the principal first. But see,
whatever that debt is,
Yeah, but if you go into just a regular payment agreement, under IRC 6159, they apply it the way they want to.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, if you get some money, you apply it, because you can apply it where it would be a best benefit to you.
Great.
So,
can people come into the Scarborough Tax Affair? Can they visit you?
They can. They got to call me.
You got to call you.
They got to call me, and I will talk to them. And
you have consultants too, don't you?
Yes, sure. I do. Yeah, I have both. I have people that I can call at the Internal Revenue Service, and then there are lots of attorneys that teach the classes that we talked about earlier for me, that I'm connected with them and can call them at any time should I need their services.
This is great. Great. So watch out for tax scams.
Watch out for tax. Watch your Social Security number.
And there was another thing you said. So much you were talking about. Go to class, you stay connected with tax pro scams, and we only have about a minute left, and how a lien affects you.
Yes.
How to avoid a lien.
Yes.
So all this information can be handled through the Scarborough Tax Affair.
Yes, Scarborough's Tax Affair at 314-621-1402. The taxhitlady@gmail.com and www.taxhitlady.com.
So they can call you for an appointment if they need to.
Call me, yes.
Sure.
Call me for an appointment, and
great.
I'll talk with you.
Alma Scarborough, I have Alma here twice a year because the laws change so often. But I'm just so glad you had the time to come back.
I'm so glad to be here, Will.
So much.
I appreciate it, yes.
And we want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. Hopefully we'll have some good news for you about reopening 1411 Locust Street. But in the meantime, please keep us in your prayers and keep us in your will and keep us in everything else that perhaps can support the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day until next time.